Hi, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel. This is your health zone on Ubuntu channel today on Monday, on the 8th of July 2022. Sorry for coming late. This is due to unforeseen circumstances because we do our health zone every day on Ubuntu, every Monday on 20 hours. Today we're starting a bit later, 21 hours, but not to keep you waiting for too long again. We'll be talking about lab and you, and I've got a lot of guests tonight to help you and me to digest about today's topic. Uh, we'll be joined in these studios by Mr. Daka. We'll be joined in these studios by Inambao Sitwala. We'll be joined in these studios by Mr. Kandama Franco and also Mr. Kasonde, just to help us discuss about today's topic, which is lab and you. Uh, Good evening, Mr. Daka. Good evening, Mr. Franco.
Good evening,
Good
thank you.
evening. Thank you.
Welcome to Ubuntu Health Zone tonight. Let me start with you, Mr. Daka, just to give you our viewers a brief introduction about yourself.
Thank you so much, Ruben. My name is Victor Daka. I'm the immediate past president for the Biomedical Society of Zambia. Currently, I'm a lecturer at Commonwealth University, and most of my life I've been a lab person, and that is my passion. Thank you.
Thanks. Let's go to Mr. Franco Kandama. Give us a brief background, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm Franco Jordan Kandama. Just recently graduated from the Copperbelt University School of Medicine. I'm a scientist. I do some internship at Sunket Diagnostic Hospital. Background is I'm also the former president for the Biomedical Association of the Copperbelt University School of Medicine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We shift our attention now to Mr. Inambao Sitwala. Good evening, and give us your brief background.
Okay, thank you so much, our host. My full name is Inambao Sitwala. I'm the current General Secretary for the Biomedical Union of Zambia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last but not the least, we go to Mr. Kasonde. Mr. Kasonde, good evening, and you can also give us your brief background.
Thanks a lot, Ruben, for the opportunity. And like you've mentioned, my full name is Amale Kasonde. I'm the current chairperson for publicity, membership, and editorial under the Biomedical Society of Zambia. And I'm also currently working with CIDAS under a program called LIFE, which is Lab Innovation for Excellence. And there I'm heading lab services for Lusaka province. I think in a nutshell, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So to our viewers, if you're joining us, this is Health Zone on Ubuntu channel, and we're discussing about lab and you. So in brief, let me come to you, Mr. Daka. What is lab and you, just in brief?
Thank you so much, Ruben. So generally, Lab and You is an initiative by the Biomedical Society of Zambia. So the Biomedical Society of Zambia is a professional body which was established back in the 1960s. So it's responsible for overseeing the welfare of medical laboratory professionals across the entire country, Zambia. But of course, its interests are not just within Zambia, but even beyond the borders, to ensure that the issues of laboratory medicine are well catered for and are well supported. So Lab and You is an initiative that was started by this organization, the Biomedical Society of Zambia. And the whole idea is to bridge the gap between the public or the stakeholders that are either clients or that access these services, or policymakers that access these services from the medical laboratories, and to bridge this knowledge gap. And this was formulated as a very innovative and initiative which is looking at different types of mediums in order to bridge this gap, in order to send this information to the public. And this has been formulated in ways such as radio, in fora such as this one that we have now, but also other medium like TV, any possible medium, even just outreach programs. So the whole idea is to inform the public. A lot of people go to the laboratory or to the health facilities without a lot of prior knowledge about what kind of services are there, and they leave it to the experts and believe that everything is like that. But we believe very strongly as the Biomedical Society of Zambia that should the public be empowered with this information, I think they'll be making more important choices for their own health, as well as for those around them. These are the loved ones, the public, and so on, because they have this information. So in a nutshell, this is what Lab and You is all about. So it's a well-driven initiative by the Biomedical Society of Zambia in order to advocate and to bring this information to the general
public. Thank you very much for that explanation, Mr. Daka. So what is the main objective of this program under the Biomedical Society of Zambia? Unfortunately, I wanted to ask Mr. Inambao about that, but since Mr. Inambao is struggling a bit with the internet, I think Mr. Daka can still take up this question, seeing that to it that you are the former past president for the society.
Thank you so much. So the main objective, again, is driven from this desire to be able to bridge this knowledge gap. So the main objective for Lab and You is to inform the public, to inform clients, and to inform all stakeholders regarding medical laboratory sciences within the country. So the Biomedical Society is driving this initiative. So that generally is the main objective.
Thank you very much. So let me come to Mr. Kandama, Mr. Franco. Do you need or do you have funders for this same program?
Thank you very much. It's a very good question, and I would like everyone to pay much attention to the response that we are going to give on this one. This program, you've heard how it has been explained by Mr. Daka. We are looking at the whole country to cater and have these interactive conversation concerning laboratory services. The funders, we are still looking for the funders so that these programs can be done easily and even have a very good catch countrywide. So at the moment, we have 2 funders that have come on board yet to finalize on some programs and how we're going to work with them. We have Atlas Mala that is coming on board, and also Sunket Diagnostic Limited is also coming on board. We are trying to look at other institutions that offers these laboratory services to become our funders, so that as we interact, even the people should be directed to know where these services that we are talking about are found, not only in private sector, but also in government, so that together we can help the public to access these services. And people should not only go for lab tests when they are sick. It should be routine. And this conversation with the public, we are going to start from there. As you are very much aware that health is very expensive, and it's only conserving it by the little expenses you can make by protecting yourself, know your status, know the different parameters in your body, and have a quick help or remedy that you can be given. Otherwise, in a nutshell, we have some 2 funders that have come on board, but we are looking for more funders who can come on board, who can be our sponsors, and who have conversation with them, even going forward, as we are going to streamline in different media houses, the radio, and also the TV. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Inambao, welcome back to the program. I wanted to find out from you, Mr. Daka just gave us a brief, but I want you to elaborate more of what is really the objective of this program under the Biomedical Society of Zambia.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ruben. The main objective of this program, Lab and You, is to critically inform the public about the services that are found in the lab. One of it is to make them aware that the lab is a very important point at which
We seem to have lost Mr. Inambao there, but we'll come back to him immediately when he joins the program. Let me go to Mr. Kasonde. Mr. Kasonde, talking about this Lab and You program, is it a program that is just starting now, or it's already in motion? This program is already ongoing.
Okay, so I was before I lost some connectivity, I was saying that the main objective of this program is to basically make the public aware about what we do, the importance of the lab and its professionals, and what we do in terms of how far we can go, because usually we are in the veil, we are hidden in most cases. Whereas the lab is very, very important, or whereas the clinical officer and the physician are very important, we find that all the kudos just go to the clinician. And the lab, the one that is doing the actual tests, is left without any kind of recognition at any point. But suffice to mention that all what happens in the lab is really anchored on giving the clinician, the doctors and the nurses, 80% of patient management in terms of results. That is very important, and that is very cardinal to mention, that we generate results that are better and good to make the patient be managed very well. And as a lab, again, with this, using this program, we intend to make sure that our presence is known, and also to educate the public about what we do each and every day of their lives. Thirdly, we also intend that through this program, people will come to the appreciation of what the lab does in terms of that, I mean, in a way that people will not only be willing to go to a lab or to be tested when they are sick. We need to make it known to the public that they can access these services not only when they are sick, but when they are actually very well, because diseases are better managed or are better tracked when somebody is well, and not when they're actually very sick, to the extent whereby the disease is almost unmanageable. So we want to make a better society through information. It's very important, I think, going forward, that most of these topics that will be highlighted as we go, they will be able to educate the public about how to handle themselves whenever they are not feeling well. Secondly, or most importantly, is that we need to make it known that they can not only access laboratories when they are sick, they can access laboratories at any given time of their lives. And that makes it easy for us to manage people's health from the laboratory sector. So principally, we are here as ambassadors that are going to make the public be aware about what the lab services are all about. That's number one. Secondly, we are here to make sure that the lab is known about what it does. Many people in society, even to date, are not sure about what a lab does. Some of them are not even inspired in any way in terms of what a lab does. They don't even know. We want to remove the notion from the minds of the people that you can only go and do biomedical sciences as an option when you fail medicine. That shouldn't be the case. We want to reignite that passion from the people so that they begin to understand that this is a noble profession that needs the seriousness it deserves in trying to make decisions to pursue it, so that people can have a well-progressing career and a well-guided career, so that we have solutions that we've been longing for a long time in this profession. There's research that we need to encourage through this platform. There is actually a lot that we would like to ensure that our people out there and the people in the profession begin to get inspired about what we're going to be doing going forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Inambao, for that explanation, for the objectivity of this program. Now, let me turn to Mr. Kasonde. Mr. Kasonde, good evening, and I wanted to find out from you, this program called the Lab and You, is it a new program that is just starting or it's already running?
Thanks, Tueben, again. So I would like to think of it as sort of a revamp. I think
sorry you a bit, Mr. Kasonde. I would ask Mr.
Sure.
Franco just to mute your mic, then we cross over to Mr. Kasonde. Okay, thanks. You can continue, Mr. Kasonde.
All right, thank you. So I would like to think of it as sort of a revamp. I think previous executives had already started working on something similar, and they quite got the ball rolling over to make it easier for us to be where we are now. And so I think there were a few programs that had aired previously, but we are looking to make it more of a permanent sort of structure that would run all year round, if we may, and that's if funding and opportunity also aligns itself well with this. So really, we're just looking to expand. We want to have more coverage, so we're looking at having more media houses to partner with. So we're just not looking at TV, we're also looking at radio. I think our former president, Daka, had alluded to what sort of platforms we're looking to sort of have this going on. So as is, we're just trying to expand our options, and we're looking to have it roll out in many parts of the country as possible. So you may know that coverage in terms of TV and radio may be limited to a location. So we want to have the general public well covered as much as possible. But as sort of a kickstart to this, I think we're targeting Copperbelt, we're targeting Lusaka because of the massive numbers that they're offering. It gives us an opportunity to highlight what lab and what we bring to the table, like Mr. Inambao had highlighted. So yeah, basically that is our goal area. We're just looking to start from where we could get the biggest numbers going from, and hopefully build outwardly to see how many more other parts we could have covered in terms of TV and radio. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me come back to you, Mr. Daka. I know there are a lot of people that are watching us via Facebook and also via YouTube at the same time. I want to find out from you, how is this program going to benefit me, or someone who is listening to us, or someone who is viewing this program? Hi, Mr. Daka, can you hear me? Okay, it seems to have a challenge, Mr. Daka. Let me turn this question to you, Mr. Inambao. If there's someone who is watching us right now, how is this program called the Lab and You going to benefit them?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ruben. First and foremost, we need to understand and realize that information is very, very important. And it's because of information, and that is why people make informed decisions. And when we talk about the Lab and You, we are talking about issues of life. And once people are well educated, they should know what to do, then they can have their lives saved. We are, by virtue of us having this program, or as we are rolling this program out, our intention is basically to make sure people become proactive. We need a proactive population. Our issues really are issues of life and death. And if we don't have people that are going to be educated and be informed about what they should do at what time pertaining their life, then we are going to have a very sick population and a population that will not be productive. And it is very important to note that each and everything that we do must be related to economic growth. We can only progress, comrades, if we have a healthy nation. Just like the old version of things, or the old adage goes, like a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Now, you have talked about what are the benefits that the citizenry is going to have by us keeping on to air out this program. I'll begin by saying one of the benefits that the citizens are going to have on this is that the information that will be coming out of this platform will empower them to know much more about their lives. There are people that go to the health facilities with level 4, stage 4 cancers, a lot of health ailments that people go to at the hospital. I'll tell you one thing, dear comrades. There are some women actually who don't even go for antenatal, and they don't even know that their HB is as low as 5 or as low as 6, and yet the following month they are going for a delivery. It will be their 9th month. The most important aspect of this program, the Lab and You, is to educate people so that they begin to know the state of affairs of their health at each and every level of their life. This is very, very important. Our role as laboratory practitioners is to ensure that we educate people about what they're supposed to know about their welfare in terms of how their body is performing at each and every moment of their life. This is very cardinal for us. We are in charge and we have an oath to take care of the citizenry. No wonder we swear, no wonder we take oath on the day of graduation. That is very important, and we owe the people of this country a service. And in trying to accelerate that service, we want to expand it further to not only attending to them when they get sick, but we want to attend to them when they are okay. The reason why I want to accelerate this program forward is to basically assist people, the citizenry, the Zambians that we have in this country, so that they can know at what level or at what stage of life should they take certain proactive measures in order to curb certain diseases from progressing from one level to the other, so that the diseases should be easier to manage, so that it's easy for them to get better, unlike having complicated situations. So it's not a way of running away from sorting out problems, but it's one way of making sure that we have a protected citizenry at the end of the day. So the benefits, number one, are that we are going to have a protected citizenry because of the information that we're going to have. Secondly, there will be timely diagnosis at each and every moment. Thirdly, people will know where to go and they will know which facilities they should run to at each and every time that they are feeling the way they are feeling. Ignorance is very expensive, and that is why we are rolling out this program to ensure that people become aware, people become knowledgeable about what they could be suffering from. There are diseases like diabetes. There are diseases such as cancers, prostate cancers, that may progress or may begin to show signs after a certain particular age. And when we have this program running through and through, people will know at which level they are. If they are in the ages of 50 going above, they will know that, oh, right now in this age we are susceptible to this kind of disease. Or in this age we are susceptible to this kind of ailment. What should they do? They should run to the hospital to go and have a checkup, even when the disease has not yet ensued. That is very, very important. We want a health nation, and that is principally the point of progressing and championing this agenda to go forward in such a fashion. So I'm sure as we go on, we'll be able to add in a few things. Maybe others can come in at that time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Victor had told us earlier on that he's a lecturer. So I want to ask, if someone wants to become, wants to join the lab family, what can they do? What should they do, basically?
Yeah, so to begin with, obviously with so many courses, it's really you have to have that interest, and again, I think it's important also for us to highlight that us bringing in the Lab and You is also one way in which we can reach out to all prospective. We are more or less acting like career guidance teachers from those that we used to find at school. So giving them this information at least will build their interest, because really being a lab person, especially a medical lab person, starts with your passion first. And then what someone needs to do really to become part of the biomedical fraternity. So we have, currently we have 2 categories of biomedical laboratory, in fact 3 categories, biomedical laboratory professionals. We have technologists, we have scientists, these are biomedical scientists. In other places they call them medical laboratory scientists. And then we have the last category, which are specialists. So you need to have preliminary training or basic training post your grade 12 in medical laboratory sciences. And in Zambia, we call it biomedical sciences. So you can either enroll at the different colleges that offer the diploma. So we have different schools that do that. We have the Ndola College of Biomedical Sciences. We have the Evelyn Horn College that has a biomedical sciences training that takes place. And I must mention that Evelyn Horn has been training biomedical sciences technologists for a very long time. It's one of the oldest schools training this category. It is actually the oldest school. Then you also have Chikankata College of Biomedical Sciences. They also train individuals. So those that are getting a diploma will have a training of 3 years in biomedical sciences. So they start the first year, second year, and third year. And then we have a 5-year course. I must mention also that Levi Mwanawasa University is also training technologists. These are those with diploma holders for 3 years. Then we have the second level, which is the degree holders. These are biomedical scientists. You need to have a 5-year training in biomedical sciences. If you already have a diploma, you will need to do a 3-year training, meaning you join in at third year. So you do third year, fourth year, and fifth year. So this is a 5-year training in biomedical sciences, includes advanced ways of looking at medical laboratory sciences, including research and so on and so forth. So this is the second category. Then the last category, if you get a master's in a biomedical, master's or PhD in a biomedical related field, these could be generally many. You can talk of hematology, which is the science of the study of blood, and the science of blood. You can have a master's degree in pathology, which is really looking at the disease processes of a human being. You can have a master's in immunology, which looks at the immune system and how it's reacting to the body. You can have a master's in clinical chemistry, which looks at the byproducts, chemical constituents of the body. When someone is diseased, you find that certain levels of certain components change, such as, for example, someone who's diabetic, and you do a glucose test, you find that glucose is very high. Someone who is starving, you do a glucose, you find it's very high, and you can also find ketones there. These are just byproducts of glucose metabolism. So it's a very interesting course, and it's really different of medical laboratory technology. It trains you in the different aspects to have a complete understanding of not only the human body, but also diseases, and also actually determine whether someone has a certain condition or not. So you need to have a very good interest in science, basic requirements, because you'll be learning these biological related sciences. You'll be learning about the human body a lot throughout, and how you need to understand if a body is normal, then you look for the abnormal. So first of all, you have to understand normal body for you to get to the part where you can say that this person has a disease. So this is the whole sciences training is it really ignites that passion, and beyond that, now you start serving man, and the joy is when you are seeing your efforts within the laboratory really pay off, someone get well, and giving that to humanity is in the first place most gratifying. So that is generally how you can get to do biomedical science.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daka. Let me cross over to Mr. Kasonde. Mr. Kasonde, I want you to elaborate for us. Is this program only targeted for Lusaka, or it's a program that now just roll out throughout Zambia? Hi, Mr. Kasonde. Okay.
Is it me who can't hear anything?
You are not the only one. Even me, I can't hear anything. Ruben is on mute.
Oh, okay. I hope now you're able to get me. I was saying, is this a program that you are? Is this program called the Lab and You, only planned for Lusaka, or it's a program that is going to roll out throughout the nation?
All right, is it okay I can come in?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Ultimately, we have the clients countrywide. So we are, as Mr. Male was saying, we'll start first with the Lusaka and Copper Belt as the most populated, provinces. But because radio stations and TV stations have a great coverage, you find that this same presentation that we'll be having is going to be shared. So for a start, I think even as we'll be doing into these two provinces, even in these other parts of the country, people still get the information. But we are yet to bring on board radio stations from all the provinces, such that we go and have live interaction with the listeners, with these clients, and also get the feedback from them. What they're experiencing will also help us improve on which topics we are supposed to bring on board. Because one thing that you need to know is that going forward, we'll be giving expertise, we'll be bringing expertise, someone who is very specialized in maybe endocrinology about hormones, start explaining to people in a layman language so that they understand. At least people should have the basic information about health-related issues. They may not understand fully what is happening, but the basic information is very much important. It becomes an empowerment, as Mr. Inambao was putting it, so that with this information, they will know what to do and they will know where to go. So this interaction is going to be helpful, and we'll also be looking at the feedback from the people we'll be interacting with. So we are targeting the whole country, and we know that using TV and radio, we'll try by all means to see how best we can have a catch, even as we are starting it in the two the two provinces, which is Lusaka and Copper Belt. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kasonde, if someone wants to partner with you for this program, what should they do? How can they reach you?
Thank you. Thank you. We're quite a huge team, and I'm glad that all four of us that are part of the planning executive for the lab, and you are part of this program. So you could either get in touch with me or any of the members of the Biomedical Society, including the EXCO that is sitting specifically to oversee and offer a technical plus oversight for the entire program, as mentioned. I think that can be done. We also have available a Facebook page, a Biomedical Society of Zambia Facebook page. You could just search for that. You could drop us a message, and we could get back to you the soonest of times. And we also have an email address. It's bmsz@gmail.com. So you could also send an email to us through that, and we'll get to you in the most soonest and most possible time. And then physically, if you would want to walk to our offices, we are situated in Woodlands, and for the directions, Mr. Daka, would you help us with that?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Daka, we can't hear you. Unfortunately. No. I still can't get you, Mr. Daka. As we are waiting for Mr. Daka there, Mr. Inambao, let's talk about now the importance of these medical labs, because we see most of the times when someone is maybe requested by a clinician to go to the labs, they begin to complain as if maybe they're just wasting their time. Let me just get my medicine and leave the hospital. How important are medical labs?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ruben, our host. Medical labs are very, very important because, number one, they give direction for treatment. The diagnosis that happens in the labs helps the clinicians and the physicians to take a particular direction in terms of treatment, meaning that without the results being derived from the lab, the clinicians will be using, for lack of a better term, witchcraft to actually find the root of treatment. So the importance of the lab is basically to make sure that there's a clear distinction between what is similar and what is different. What is similar is that a child could be presented with a high body fever, and one may just say it's just fever, and yet it's malaria. So that distinction is very important to make, because it helps to also reduce what we call AMRs, antimicrobial resistance. The aspect of targeting what is actually the causative agent that causes a particular disease is very, very important in diagnostic medicine. So ours is diagnostic medicine. So in this whole scenario, we are looking at the laboratory sector, or a lab personnel rather, as being on the center of medicine, directing, giving direction of how a particular disease should be treated. That's number one. Secondly, giving a report of surveillance in terms of disease surveillance, as well as the monitoring and evaluation of how certain medicines are performing with regards to particular diseases. That is very, very important, because it is through the lab that also medicines tend to change in terms of sensitivity testing. So all this information is very, very important. And a lab personnel is a very important cadre in the Ministry of Health and anywhere else in the world. Because when we're looking at diagnostics, we are not only looking at having to do with a lab personnel and their services, we're also looking at issues of quality management systems that are there all the time to guide how certain procedures, the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, are going to be done. And this is the service that we like to assure the public out there, that we do not only do things just for the sake of doing them. We have the standard operating procedures and the quality management systems that are accredited worldwide in Zambia here. And this is the very, very most important that people should be aware of, that our results that are generated from our labs are basically the same results that you find even if you were to go elsewhere across the globe. And it is also evident that the works of a biomedical personnel in the lab are evident that they have been able to provide direction to clinicians and anyone else in the corridors of health. And this is to couple it also with discipline. We will not only be talking about the lab on you in terms of diagnostics, it will also go to the discipline of our people and the discipline of our people in the laboratory sector in terms of how they execute their jobs and their work. It will be clearly a distinction of really how credible our results are, because credibility begins with integrity at personal level as a biomedical practitioner, at individual level, coupled with what you have been trained, the morals that are coupled to with the kind of practice and the scope of our work. All this is evident that whatever we are producing from the lab can be surely be depended upon as a true reflection of how a body is functioning, and thereby giving a correct direction in which diagnosis and treatment should be taken. So talking about the importance of this program is very important because it is hinging on life and death. And so as people that have been given the mandate by government to take care of the citizenry insofar as diagnostics are concerned, we are charged with the responsibility to ensure that all what we do is morally upright, coupled with integrity, and also the dignity that surrounds the laboratory is something that we cannot underestimate or overemphasize upon. We as laboratory personnel are charged with the responsibility to do that which is the best for the citizens. And that is why this program has been brought, so that we can enlighten the citizenry, the people of Zambia, the importance of it, and where they can find the services that we have talked about. And for all those that are going to be would-be biomedical professionals, where they can train from. And the institutions that have been highlighted by Dr. Daka are quite historical, and they have produced many scientists, many technologists in this country that have been able to give this country a good service going forward.
Thank you very much. Mr. Daka, are you back? We are waiting for you to give us the physical address for the society.
Yes, I hope you can get me now.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, so we are based in Woodlands. So this is Buluwe Road, plot 7618, Buluwe Road. So it's the road which goes to St. John's. The second turn on your right. Once you follow that, you'll be able to find Buluwe Road. Then you turn right again, and you'll find plot 7618. So that's our physical address. That's where our office is, and you will find someone working there at any time that you want to pass through during working hours.
All right, thank you very much. Unfortunately, time is not our best ally tonight, but I want to give you an option, every one of you, just to say your concluding remarks and also say your goodbyes. Let me start with you, Mr. Inambao.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ruben, for having hosted us. we'd like to encourage each and every citizen of this country that as we roll out this program, we'd like to appeal to you that follow the proceedings and get what you can, because we are here to make a change as the biomedical profession, to ensure that we give you the quality assurance that you need in terms of our service delivery at any given time. And we call upon anyone to come on board in terms of sponsorship for programs on air in whatsoever capacity that you may. And remember that support does not only come in monetary form, it may come in many other forms. However, whatever support that may come in terms of value will be truly appreciated to this team as we champion health matters on the lab and you. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kandama. Your concluding remarks. Your mic is muted, Mr. Franco.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ruben. I think the gesture you've shown that we have this information, this program, having shared to the public, it is our responsibility, it's your responsibility as media platforms that we partner with us, even as we drive this agenda. I know it's very expensive for us to incorporate the radio stations, the TV stations to air out our program. But would like to call upon the TV and the radio stations that when there are programs such as this, where health is concerned, you call us on board and see how best we can move together, even as we service the public. Otherwise, thank you very much for this gesture of shown and for the time you've given us that we have this interaction. Next time, we hope to have a live interaction such that we have questioning time from the public also. Then we see how best we can get the feedback from there so that we continue adjusting even as we go ahead and also know which areas to concentrate even as we interact with the public. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You can be rest assured that this is not your last time being on this channel. We look forward to seeing you more often because we need to know exactly what happens in the lab. Some of the questions that we reserve for a different program. Let me go to Mr. Kasonde to also give us his last remarks.
Thanks a lot, Ruben and Ubuntu channel for this opportunity. And I would like to just say in closing that we are super excited on this journey we are taking as a profession, and we hope we'll be as visible as we would want to be known, not just around Zambia, but across our borders too, to the great works that our country is doing. So to achieving great things, really, we are super excited about these things.
And last but not the least, Mr. Daka.
Thank you so much. So just to echo what my colleagues have said, thank you so much, Ruben and team from Ubuntu channel. Thank you so much for giving us this platform. And further, we look forward to being hosted here to talk about specific items now, laboratory diagnosis, looking at different diseases, really drive this agenda forward. To the listeners and those that are watching us, we would like to say thank you. And also, as we go forward in promoting medical laboratory diagnosis or biomedical sciences in Zambia, we look forward to partnering with many of them in any way that they can, just echoing what Mr. Sitwala said, in any form, in any way. The idea, I think, at the end of the day is to ensure that the nation and biomedical sciences plays a very huge part of that. And we'll need to make sure that it's well understood for the benefit not only of the profession and its needs, but also for the general public. So thank you so much, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, gents. To our viewers, this has been our edition of Ubuntu Health Zone for this week, and we hope to see you next week. It's good night and God bless from us.